for this call is just to, go through the agenda items. It's also Lauren's last week for the next several weeks, so make sure that we cover any topics relevant to her for this week. And I don't have any distractions today. I'll pass it to you, Sim.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. Intentions, just to hear what's going on the other aspects. I've been involved in the BitDAO blog post, so that's been consuming a lot. And then just updating on 2 other points, the content planning process that we spoke about last week, and if there's any social updates from Claire, and just getting in touch with everyone. Distractions. I'm a bit distracted today by a couple of things, but I'm just going to try and push those aside and be fully here. And I'll pass to you, Claire.
Thanks, Sim. Hi, everyone. Intention for the call is to talk about the social planning and to give any updates if I get a chance at the end. We get through the agenda and just to hear what everybody else has been up. I'm a little bit distracted today. My friend and her family have arrived. There's lots of kids here, and I'm a little bit tired. So and I'm going to pass it over to Ahmed.
Great, thanks, Claire. My intentions are to go through all the updates. I'd like to also welcome and Jake, who's joining us full time. So welcome, Jake. I'm a little distracted by some HR drama that we had, but it's all good now, and I'm ready for the call. Let me pass it on to Benz.
Hey, my intention is to check in, see what's happening, see what I can do for the fundraising video, distractions, work, and that's about it for me. I'll pass to, I don't know who all's gone. I joined a little bit late. I'll pass to Lauren if you haven't gone yet.
Thanks, Benz. Cool. My intentions for the call are just to hang out and say hi to everybody. And actually, I'm noticing that Almond isn't here, so I want to also celebrate that Almond is joining the team and welcome her. I'm just gonna give Almond is super cool. You probably met her because she's like a hero at doing good and at Heath Barcelona, and she was staying in the Giveth house, and she's going to be joining us part-time for the first month, and helping with like a little bit of like Twitter responding to people and helping in the community circle, and and then she's going to be jumping in full-time in September once a bunch of people are back from Burning Man. So anyway, noticing she's in the call, and I just love Almond, so I wanted to give her a shout out. and then other than welcoming her, my intentions are to just like answer questions, hang out, and I'm distracted by many things, and I will pass it to Almond.
Yay, thank you so much, Lauren, for your nice words. I'm super excited to be here to start learning with all of you, and super happy that I already met some of you as well at the Giveth house. My intentions for this call would be to listen to all of you, to start aligning with all the work, and to get to know a little bit about what all of you do here in Giveth. And my distractions would be that I really have not slept very well, so I'm kind of distracted because of the lack of sleep, but super happy and excited to be here. Thank you, Lauren, again, and I will pass it to Mango, that I see that's here as well.
So there's 2 of us. Is that tropical mango or just mango?
Tropical mango. Mango.
Last time on the call there was like mango and there was me, tropical mango. Yeah, so my intention is to catch up, see what's going on, and also implement some of the feedback that I got from Lauren on our call just now. Also, no distractions, but I am feeling a bit low energy. I had a really bad sleep last night, so I'm feeling you, Almond, with the low energy. But yeah, happy to be here. Thanks. And I will pass it to, let me see. Katab, oh, yeah, Katabi.
Hey. So intentions for this week or intentions like for the call?
For the call.
All are to kind of like sync in with communities work. Communications work. And yeah, that's it. No distractions.
Okay. Jess?
Pass
Go ahead.
it, Koja. Thanks, Jesse. Yes, hi everybody. Right here to sync and push out the ETH Barcelona and also the BitDAO articles. No distraction. Kotabe, mute yourself. And I will pass to, oh dear, I will pass it to Popline. Yes.
Hello, thank you, Sugar. Hello, everyone. So my intention is to understand how work communication team, and also just to say that we engaged a conversation about project interviews that I would like to run, and we are thinking about the goal, why we would like to do that for Giveth, but also for the founders of projects. So if you want to be part of this discussion, it's very interesting. And my distraction is that I'm in a school right now, and there is a terrace and a lot of people. And I pass it on Jake.
Thank you. And that definitely sounds like something I would be interested in learning more about. Intentions for the call, just, now that I'm full-time, listening full-time, but also push my new GitHub issues for some feedback and discuss those. Distractions, it's a little warm in the house today. That's it. I will pass it on to CBD David Baxter.
Hey, sorry, this is one of the first times that I've done. So I'm saying my intentions for the day, or
Oh, your intention for this call and any distractions.
oh, intentions and distractions. Okay, sorry about that. So my distractions are I don't have coffee yet, and that's rough. And my intentions are to hang out, listen, get an idea for how you guys do this call, and provide whatever I can.
Okay, cool. Do you want to pass it to somebody?
I'll pass it to Pythagorean over there.
Hey, thanks. I'll start with distractions. I'm in a hotel, and I don't know if you can hear the background noise, but it's like the music's bumping over here. So that's a distraction on my end. And intention for the call is to learn what kind of educational resources the community might need or want. So glad to be here, and I'm not sure to pass it to. So Corey, maybe you can help me out.
Okay, let's see. I think that might be everybody, actually. Yep, that's everybody. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for joining the call. Oh, peace. Okay, nice to meet you guys. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Yeah, and for sure, a warm welcome to Jake for joining full time. It's awesome to hear. This is gonna be great. And welcome Almond. Still not sure if we met in person or not. I feel like we absolutely must have in Barcelona at some point, but looking forward to getting to know you more. And yeah, and to everyone else for yeah, being here today to learn. Feel free to ask any questions along the way. We have some things on the agenda that we want to make sure that we cover, which specifically, like at the moment, we just have like a couple of outstanding items that want to make sure that are like done. And I think actually, like regarding the conference's content, that's something that we were pushing the last few weeks. I think we're pretty much through on most of this. I was going through some of the sound bites today to check, and I found a couple of different errors there. I'm not sure like if the errors were in the like the way that content was sent to you, or if it's just through that manual process of like when you're creating the sound bites. But I just wanted to also mention that maybe it's a smart move that we like once the sound bites are like created, that there's still like a review process that it's put through like one more time before the issue is finalized. Or am I misunderstanding that that's always been the case? I just wanted to check in on that.
No, yeah, I mean that's how it happens. So what happens is I have to get the clip from the video, then I put it into a tool that adds sort of like subtitles to it, but the subtitles aren't like 100%, so like you have to go and change them sometimes because it doesn't always detect exactly what was said. So yeah, so like sometimes like there'll be like a comma in the wrong place, or like it wouldn't detect a certain word, for example. So yeah, it is like a manual process. So I do recommend, yeah, I mean that's a good idea to always have like a process at the end where we double check it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I went through like all of them now. I just yeah, just FYI, I think in the future it makes sense that we like when they're created, like we'll put it back like up for final review just to like someone else, because it helps if it's I think different eyes that take a like actually takes a look at each one. But I mean it's great. Like we have those pretty much done now, and we have all the conference content put together. There was just the ETH Barcelona recap blog post, but I saw like Suga, that's up now, at least ready to be published on Medium, right?
Yeah, so the last thing is to change the banner, which Lauren, I don't think I can do that when I submitted it on Medium to Giveth, and I think when it's in that in between limbo space, I don't seem to be able to access it still. So I posted the new banner that takes out ETHCC, since we wanted, you wanted to do them separately, if that makes sense. So the new banner is waiting to be put in the article on Giveth's end on Medium. Does that make sense?
You posted it in the GitHub issue?
Yeah, and I also posted a couple of little caveats, which are, I mean, I know you're sort of like trying to check out, but just have a quick pass if you can. Otherwise, all you really technically need to do, basically there were just a couple of little things that they're not deal breakers at all, but like I never found the link for Griff's official interview. There's a couple things they're little things. They're not deal breakers.
Okay, cool. I can take a look at that and I can add that in there. But also, just FYI, you should be able to still edit your Medium posts, even though it's in the limbo state. I think you can just go to like, yeah, try. But if not, don't worry, I'll do it. Leave a comment if you're successful.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Suga.
Actually, when we're on that same topic, let me just ask real fast. For the ETHCC, which I'll make just like a shorter, well, I have the shorter one. Since you're going to be gone, Lauren, what should be the, how should we tackle that? Maybe Corey, you just want to review that real fast, or what do you think?
Yeah, and or if I don't know how long it will take you to kind of like put it together, but if you could have a draft ready like late this week, I can review it before I go as well.
Cool. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is like anything like long format. Yeah, exactly. I think if you can split that up like this week, that would be cool. And then Barcelona's basically already done, right? Which is awesome.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and the sound bites will just be like trickling out over time now on Twitter, but those look really good. So I think we accomplished that goal for the most part and got everything done, which is awesome. And I'm just also going to be working on the SBS talk longer format, like tweet thread this week. Yeah, and then there's just also like the BitDAO blog post is another piece. Like since this is Lauren's like last week before the next like basically 4 weeks of Burning Man time, we kind of talked about it. And we thought like, yeah, any of these like long format pieces would be awesome to at least like get reviewed this week, and then we can start like creating batches of new content over the next 4 weeks, since we have like so many new issues that we could tackle in the board that have been sitting there. So yeah, conference content and then the BitDAO blog post. Just wanted to check in on like how we're doing with that piece. Like Sim, you had already mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. So we're almost done. We're trying to finalize, but there's one paragraph that we've got all hands on deck trying to finalize, but we've had a lot of progress in it in the last couple of days. So I'm really hoping that it's going to be out by Thursday. We've got the banner done by Rodri, so we're basically finessing it. Suga and Lauren have just been fixing up some of the last bits. Really, unless Yas has got any big changes to it, we're probably ready to go in the next day.
Yeah, can I just add to that? So again, because it's the 11th hour on some of this and Lauren's leaving, I know Lauren, you must just be like totally overloaded this last week. So I just wanted to ask if you're gonna get a chance to look at that again, or if you just want me to kill that. I know you sent that last paragraph and I had already started making changes. And
sorry.
No, it's good. It all happened at the same time. Because what I wrote in my comments on the doc was that I can obviously just try to take care of it, but I did have some things that I felt were a little bit unclear. And the one main thing, if it's okay to just take a minute just to say it here, is there's a reference at the very end of that paragraph to givebacks, which comes a little bit out of the blue. So my suggestion, the easiest thing would just be to take out that sentence. So anyway, the point is, okay, cool. Okay, I'll stop talking. You could just look at that if you want, or else I'll just do that.
I'll happily take out the sentence, and I'll happily review it again this week. I mean, I think that this is kind of an important thing, so I want to make sure that that I get a chance to see it. But so whenever you're done with it, Suga, just tag me again. I'm going to be working this weekend. If I have to like go through things in the weekend or in the next week's just like final review stuff, then I will. But so yeah,
awesome.
I want to see it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, and maybe we can also just add some photos in there. I'm noticing that it's still missing photos and memes and things just to like make some color. So maybe whoever's either Sim or Suga, if you could just color it up a little.
Okay, great.
Okay, we'll chat on the channel about that. I'm thinking maybe just some screenshots from some of the talks. I'd not really have time to do memes, also because they'll be my first, so they'll be taking some time to get it right, but screenshots, but we'll chat on the channel about that. But I agree, we'll add some pictures in.
Yeah, cool. Okay, good. So those are really like the main things in terms of like immediate like pieces of content. Otherwise, there's like regarding like give power content specifically right now, actually, Lauren, like is there anything like what would you say is the most, I mean, where are we at with the documentation, for example, versus starting with a blog post or like blog post and then tweet thread cadence, you know?
Yeah, I
I
think
know
the documentation is I think the documentation is mostly done. FYI to everyone, we were really pushing to try to get Give Power out before Burning Man, but because the contracts need more time to review, we're going to be postponing it. So Give Power will get launched likely within the first week or two of September. So we've got a little bit more time, and I think that's really valuable. Like the documentation's done, and I'm going to work on the blog post, but in this like time in between, it would be great if more people could jump into testing Give Power a little, get a little bit more familiar with it, so that we have like more people who can contribute and like, you know, review the blog post and be like, actually, this is, I think it should be explained more like this. That will be really valuable in this interim.
Yeah, so one idea is like doing more of these testing parties. I was curious what you guys think of that, but like we did one last week right after the community call, which was like pretty cool. And especially with like new people joining, it would like, I think it would make a lot of sense that we just have like consistent participation in testing from the communications team, because then like, yeah, it's just more of a firsthand experience of how everything works and also how the flow works and how the communication around that also works. Like when you get an email and what does the email say, and like is everything like easy to understand and does it make sense from a communications perspective? And then also like when we're reviewing content and also writing content, it's going to feel a lot more relevant to us, like if we've gotten our hands dirty with the product, you know? So, you know, one thought is like, yeah, depending on like how often testing is needed, like it's something I'll of course like check in on. But just having like regular testing sessions, whether that's weekly or bi-weekly, where like comms participates. I thought that might be a really nice idea. Lauren was also down for it. What do you guys think in general as a group about that?
I'm totally loving that idea.
So I'd actually like to join that too. We're helping to put together some infographics and educational resources for you guys around Give Power right now, and that might be really helpful.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think then it's just about finding a time, right? Because I think in general, the struggle is always like getting people together. And we have like these scheduled calls a couple times a week. We did do it like immediately after the community call last week, which felt pretty fluid. But, you know, basically just going to need input from everyone. I can post it in the communications channel. And at the end of the day, there's not, I mean, I think it's almost impossible there'll be one time that's going to work for like everybody, but maybe we can find a general time, for example, right after that call, like on Thursdays. And can also see about maybe testing sessions are only 30 minutes or something instead of like another full hour, like right after a call. But it'd be great to get your feedback on that, so we can set something up like on a regular basis. Okay, so all right, so with Give Power for now, it's going to be, yeah, we have that postponed until September in terms of prepping content. Like we're kind of set on that for a minute. And that's just going to be around more like testing of things. And yeah, we also, as an update, like we spoke with Ichi last week, and there's a like contest running that starts like today actually for the next week with a giveaway prize. And this is part of like, this is in conjunction with the launch of the Angel Vault last week, which is powered by Ichi. So yeah, we're going to be helping them to promote that. Well, it's like a collaborative campaign. So we're both promoting it throughout the week. And the prize offering is like 300 Ichi tokens and also $300 worth of Give tokens. So yeah, which we got approval for. So yeah, as we're posting that stuff, would be great if you give it some love. It's kind of just a way to encourage people to check out the Angel Vault, like learn more about it, like check out Ichi stuff, check out our stuff. So yeah, it'd be a fun little collaboration over the next week. And yeah, and otherwise, content planning process session. Is this issue from USIM?
Yeah, this was what we chatted about last week, about the original Sheets document that we would use to plan our major content that we would put out on each month, and include things like, oh, there's the Angel Vault, or this is being released. So we have that main document to put the content pillars, and then how that would go onto each of our channels, and then the people, the teams responsible for putting that out onto social, you know, once they can see those are the major topics for that month, and we must make sure that they're included in the content plan, they can do the content plan with that. That same document can be used as the source for needing to be put into newsletters. So it's that, and just working out exactly what that process is. Do we meet for 15 minutes or 30 minutes a month, or every 2 weeks, and decide what those major content items are, make sure that they're scheduled in, what's the document that we use for that, because right now I think that there's only that document that has content for the newsletter, which seems to be working quite well. How can we take that and use and do that for the other channels? So it's really just getting together and finalizing that process, and how often we meet, and what can we set up recurring so that it starts to automate it a bit more.
Okay, so you're proposing here like to have an individual session to go through that?
Yeah, so I've set up a doodle, and I tagged in there Ahmad and Claire and you and Lauren, so that we can just have a chat. I'm not sure whoever else wants to be involved in that, but it's really about what is that process from the main document where everyone can even include different topics, and then how do we spread that out onto the other channels.
Okay, cool. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, it basically comes down to like getting the issues from GitHub, you know, as they're like moving through to completion, like getting them also aligned onto like somehow they need to flow from there into this planning application, right? Depending on what we're using.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, I think Ahmad even mentioned last time maybe doing a Zapier on some of them, because I think not all of them are going to be content that needs to go out on the channels, but maybe there are. I haven't looked, but I think that that would be a good idea to automate that. We can put a Zap there, so that's the kind of thing that we would chat about in that session.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm really all for automation. Like we have so many manual things going on already, so that would be great. I could see that working like well. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. And you're trying to schedule that for this week, right?
I put times on Thursday and Friday and Monday. So if it really can't work, then it can be done later, but I think the earlier the better. So hopefully out of those times we'll be able to find a slot working for everyone.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then so moving further through the agenda, Jake, you had put a couple of issues here. Do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, it's pretty quick. So I'm going to do some outreach to donors, survey previous donors as well as new potential donors. And before I did so, just similar to the Gitcoin, just wanted to put up there like the body of the email I'm going to send out. Just have another pair of eyes look at it and offer any suggestions or comments. Not a whole bunch to it. Literally, that's about it. Also, in 819, which is the kind of list that I created. The next one, the donor outreach for potentials. In there is a Google shared document that I'm starting to compile. All this will be put into the CM as I go on. But that's one, if anybody just wants to take a look as well, it's more just to confirm that somebody hasn't worked with them in the past, since we didn't have a CRM previously. So if you want to go look at the Google Doc, it has in there, I got it from leaderboards and other Web3 spaces for top donors and different platforms. Since I've only been here a couple months as well, I don't know many of the people on here. So feel free to look it over, offer any insight if you've worked with these people or if they've been previous donors. And then again, it's just the body of the email that if anybody wants to put a second pair of eyes and offer any suggestions, that's it.
Okay, awesome. So just to be clear, like these are both just essentially emails that you want to have reviewed, right?
Yeah, the first one, 818, is literally just that, just an email that I want reviewed, second pair of eyes if anybody wants it. Otherwise, I'm willing and ready to send it out. The second one, though, the 819, that one does have a Google Doc attached to it that has a list of people that I've kind of been looking at that I want to reach out. And if anybody's dealt with them in the past prior to the CRM and wants to offer any insight or suggestions because they've worked with them in the past, let me know. Otherwise, yes, again, an email, again, just a second pair of eyes to look at it. Pretty simple stuff. And I'll close these out ASAP. Just wanted to get a second pair of eyes on.
So I'm going to move this first one just to review status, and then can assign, I'll assign myself to this. You're already assigned. Oh, yeah, you're assigned to this. Okay, but someone needs to be tagged to review it. Okay. So just FYI, you can always just tag different names to get a couple pairs of eyes on it, like my name or not Lauren's as of this week, but yeah, really any of us here to take a look at it. So is there anyone else here in the call that would want to, I don't know, just review this real quick and give their okay on it?
I can go through the list of names and also, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, I'm also helping as well, so you can tag.
Okay, I'll throw both of us on here to review, because this is just reviewing the text. And then the other one, okay, so it's in review QA, and then this one I'll also put as ready for review QA, and I'll add you in here, or I'll just tag you actually, Tabe. Okay, cool. Sweet.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is awesome. Cool. Yeah, and someone had also mentioned, I'm sorry, a fundraising video. If you want to speak to that. I can't remember who exactly brought that up, but I wrote it down somewhere. Here.
Hey, yeah, I think you're referring to me. There's the fundraising video that Melody did. I was gonna edit that and cut it down to just take out all the intro and leave the relevant stuff. So I'm working on that. I basically have just looked at it a little bit. I'm working on converting that to a file type that can be used with Camtasia. So not very far, but that's what I'm working on.
Okay, is there an issue for this?
I'm not sure if there is.
I don't think there is.
Okay, would it make sense? What could you fill me in a little bit on this video? Where is it going to be posted, and what's the plan for it?
You want to go, Vince, or should I?
Yeah, I think the idea was we'd add it to the not the donor 101 course, but the more on the project side, information course that we'll be working on. That's we haven't made a lot of progress on that. I think we like have a project set up, but that's kind of what I was thinking. Do you have anything to add to that, Katavi?
Yeah, so it's for the fundraising 101. So it will be probably kind of like, as Vance is saying, on the creator side for our YouTube channel, but also might be an email that we send for project creators, since it does have some like good information on some recommendations on fundraising.
Okay, so it might be sent in like an email, or it's gonna be posted somewhere. You said in GitHub?
No, and yeah, like an email, and then
YouTube, right? Yeah, I mean, basically, I think it's going to be similar to the donor course, but just on the project side. So it'll be for projects that want to learn how to post their project and make it succeed on Giveth, basically.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it would probably make sense in that we have like that we start an epic and like an issue for it, right? The way we have for
We
the
already have an epic, but it sort of got put on the back burner these last couple of weeks. But there is an epic there already. I think it's the first one, all the way
Oh, it's
on the
called
top of the
Project
course. Yeah, yeah.
Owners. Okay, and then are we talking about like when you say fundraising video, is this like one particular video in this series?
It was a workshop that Melody ran 2 weeks ago, and the footage is from there. But there's a lot of sort of empty space, if you like, where there's a lot of just sort of talking, sharing our intros and things like that. So the idea was that we would cut that out at the beginning because there's some really good content towards the end. So that's what we're planning to use, just to cut it down so it's a more manageable size and gets to the core information.
Okay. I think like in general then like it's a good segue anyway to a topic like as like a lot of the organization is going to Burning Man, you know, we can kind of anticipate, and we've just had this push with these like product releases and like all the conference material. Like the idea is that we could really use the next several weeks to focus on stuff like this. So, you know, in terms of like there's a project owners 101 course, and then there's also still the we still have open items for the donor 101, or is that already like entirely finished? Because actually I'm not seeing it here anymore.
It's finished, but there are 2 videos we want to record for the Angel Vault and for what's the other one? For the Nice Token. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, which kind of like fall under the donor 101, but that's like I guess those are always going to be add-ons. But yeah, in general, like anything we have outstanding, especially regarding like video content, I think like this is a really good time to like for us to focus on it. And in terms of like, yeah, the fundraising video, I would just make sure to keep this epic updated. And I think it's just a matter of making sure people are assigned to them, right? And going through that process again. So if anyone like wants to pick up anything, you know, this might be a great thing to jump into. And otherwise, there's in general like lots of issues. Like there's ones we have like the sprint backlog, and then in general we also have like all of these new issues still like sitting here with lots of like cool content ideas. So yeah, depending on everyone's capacity, I was kind of thinking like maybe it would be helpful to get a quick like capacity check-in from everyone. Maybe that can be submitted like in a document or something, and just see like how much time everyone thinks they have right now, and then I can like maybe help with suggesting, or like people can also self-assign like to pick up some new issues. So we have like some clarity on like what to work on for the next few weeks.
Yeah,
What do you guys think
sounds
about
good.
that?
What are you thinking would help? Like how many hours we have and what projects we're on at the moment?
I think like that would probably be the most helpful, yeah. Like for instance, I know off the top of my head a couple of people, but in general it's sort of a question mark for me, like, okay, like, you know, is everyone sort of at the end of like the stuff they've been working on recently, or like coming to an end over the next few days, or like, you know, because between now and like next Tuesday is a whole other week. And I think it's like a really good time to start like at least like assigning to new things. But I don't want to just like automatically assign you guys to different things, and I'm not sure what capacity you're working with. So yeah, that would be helpful, I think, just to know like kind of approximate end dates for like outstanding things, and like how much time you think you're going to have coming up, and maybe, you know, can also like I can try to like pre-select some pieces of or some issues in the board, and maybe like link to them or something like this, and then, you know, everyone can self-assign, for example.
I think that sounds good. Which document would you want to use? Like a sheets where we can contribute, or something else?
I'll make a Google Doc right now and just post it in the chat if that's good, while we're talking, so that anyone in this call can add their stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's really easy, you know. It's just a check-in, so we can kind of understand. And then in general, like please feel free, anyone, to like go into the board and start picking up stuff, because we've kind of, I think, like I said, we had this push and we're sort of, it's good. We have a lot of the stuff just like going into the review phase now. And there's lots more that we can pick up. So also, yeah, okay.
Will you set up that sheet and then post it on the comms group, and then we fill in our details?
Yeah, so
sorry, you said in the call. Which one?
yeah, I think Lauren, you said you were just gonna put it in the chat here, the Discord call, but I can also then copy it into the comms channel.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just in the comms channel right now. I'm just making a table and putting some headers on it for guidance, and then I'll put it in like ETA 1 minute.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, and otherwise, I wanted to check in also like a couple items, like for instance, like Kotabi, can you like what's going on with this one? I just wanted to understand. It's also related to the fundraising 101 topic.
I mean, that was sent the same day.
Yeah, so you can probably close this one, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do
That
you
was
mean
an
it was?
email. Sorry?
Oh, I see. The email was sent like that day.
Yeah, because I think the event was the very next day. So yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I didn't update it. But basically, I made the email, sent it, and we had the session the next day.
Okay. All right.
There was one point I wanted to bring up when it comes to events. I think we should have a place for people to RSVP, since most of our events we just like post about it, like, and like have a link on Discord or somewhere else, but it's a very manual process now, and I think like we could just sign up for a like RSVP service like Eventbrite or something like that, just to make it a bit easier for us to manage people, and like for people to add it to their calendar and things like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Which events do you mean specifically? Like,
So like any of like the Twitter spaces that we do, or like the fundraising 101, or Meet the Makers, or any of those events, like any of the things that we run ourselves, I think it would be nice to have like a place for people to sign up, like a common place.
Maybe, I mean, if that works for like making it easier for people to manage their calendars, we could have it even for the AMA and the community call.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of like in general where you get a reminder, you know, or it adds to your calendar automatically.
That's a really good idea, Ahmad, and it's just made me think about the events checklist that Ashley's just put together. Maybe one of us should go back to her and get her to add that to her checklist as well.
Yeah, I think
She's
I
made like
commented
it's a
already.
sort of planning thing. If you're holding it a
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
You've already commented for Ashley to do that?
Yes.
Or can someone? Yeah, okay. I mean, that should be a simple add-on, yeah. Is that something then that Ashley would just set up?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think she would
The
just need to look
checklist.
at
She's
a
already made
couple
a
of
draft.
tools. Yeah, and find one that she likes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Then, and actually, I wanted to, since we have a little bit of extra time, because I originally thought we'd like maybe we could go through some of the issues already on the board together, but I think it would help first just to get everyone's capacity, as we said, and then maybe I'll go from there and like take a look at some issues and like link them into that doc. I think that because like what we could also do is use the last few minutes to go through some of these outstanding items because we've had them on the agenda for like a few weeks. And like, okay, we actually already talked about the collab with Ichi. Twitter brainstorm's always a thing. So just as an FYI, I'm gonna be managing the Twitter for the next 4 weeks. Hopefully I don't screw it up. I'll be checking that channel regularly, but always welcome any suggestions. And one thing I also want to mention is like I would be totally up to I'll post it like I'll post it in the comms channel, but it'd be awesome to get more memes. Like especially for because we do some weekly posts like all the time for like give backs, you know, like go claim your give backs or whatever. And it would be pretty cool to have like a whole set of like give backs memes to use you know, each week. Things like this. So yeah, if you're feeling creative, like please by all means throw some stuff in there.
I'm actually proposing a bounty for kind of like a meme of the week, you know, like something small, significant, but just like for people to like from give or from just the community to kind of like make memes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a really fun way to get people engaged. Yeah, and yeah, there's a couple other items here. I'm actually not sure who added all of these, but for instance, I was curious about this like implement support forms in the DApp to keep users' feedback. Did anyone here specifically add that to the agenda? Okay, maybe that was Mitch or Monique or one of those guys that jumped in like one of those weeks. So I'm gonna circle back on that one because I mean, I've talked to Monique before about like getting user feedback. I know that's like a thing he'd really like to have more of. So maybe that's also like an issue that's something that we could implement. I don't think this would be too hard to do, or first off, it'd be really simple to create. I think it's more about like implementing it. So I'm going to be syncing with Monique anyway, so I can check with him on that. Zerion is interested in getting Giveth on their platform.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. Basically, at Eat Barcelona, Buga from Syrian came to me and said, like, hey, we basically, they have their kind of like aggregator service. And it's like, okay, you want to play with DeFi, you can go to these kind of platforms, but they have nothing, or you want to, I don't know, have Dexes here. I think Dexes is not a great example. Anyways, basically they can like direct their people through their app to some services, and they still have nothing for donations. And they say could be really cool to have Giveth there. So I have a call with Buga this Thursday. But I just wanted to feel the temperature. Like, what do you think? If anyone has any ideas or just comments.
No, the question that comes to my mind is like, what support, do you need any support on that? Or do you want to update us then after that call?
Yeah.
I mean, in general, it sounds good.
Yeah, I'll just go to the call and then like I'll report how the progress is going after that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and if we need to create any like supporting materials, like let us know. But I'd be curious to know, I'd be curious to know how the call goes.
Yep.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And yeah, we just covered social channel planning. That's going to be that call we're setting up, right, Sim? I think it's an overlap. Sim, yes? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Okay. It was that, as well as if Claire had any updates from the social planning that she's been working on for the last 2 weeks. So I think it was an old one that was put up, but I think that there's been a lot more progress there. And if Claire doesn't have anything to update, then there's nothing to address on that one.
Okay. Claire, do you have anything to add there?
This month, so not really, just that a few posts have gone out this month. The thing that we were discussing about how best to get the approval on them, but I think we've largely covered that off. We're just going to post screenshots in the thread for now, aren't we?
Yeah, and this is also something that can be brought up in the process discussion because approval is part of that process. So it is a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really important part because, yeah, I tried to get into Planable yesterday and it was just not working. So even with the login details, which is weird, so it just needs to be fleshed out and then cleared that like someone has like constant easy access. Okay, cool. And I just noticed some, I think Popline, you had mentioned something about interviews. Is that something that you want to speak to real quick with the group? 'Cause it sounded interesting. And I'm wondering how that relates to like the comms team, if you need support on this.
Well, I can talk a little bit about it. Basically, we've been discussing on the communities working group. Well, Podline actually came to one AMA and said like it will be super interesting to know more about the projects, and we've been discussing like how can we do this. So the discussion is ongoing, but basically it might be kind of like a continuation of Meet the Makers or having like a podcast of like every specific project, but this is still open for discussion. There is a thread on the let me see where it is exactly. But we are actually having this open discussion on a thread. Can someone help me? Tell me which is the thread. I know it's somewhere here. Oh, I think it's in the collab chat. 1 second. Yeah, project interviews. Maybe it's not open for everyone, but on the collaboration chat, it's there. So yeah, I don't know if Popline or Claire wants to like go a little bit further into what I just said. We make a switch.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. I'm on my phone now because I have not any more battery on my computer. And yes, it's on collab channel, and there is a sub channel to follow the discussion. Yeah, it's quite open right now, and I need to understand what are the needs to be able to know what kind of questions we want to ask to project maker, what kind of communication we want to make about their project to serve better their project, but also Giveth, and to help donors to have more information and be touched by all the work they are doing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you're just having an active discussion about it in the channel right now to flesh out like those types of questions and what content you want to create around this?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. I'll take a look at that channel. All right. Then maybe we'll talk about it again next week in terms of like, or you can create issues if you need something tangible from the team after after like some things have been discussed. Okay, cool. Yeah, then in general, I mean, we're at time. We actually covered all these items in the agenda mostly, and which is great. And I think the general conclusion here is like, yeah, just be aware it's Lauren's last week, so we can let her actually sign off after, hopefully after Friday. And yeah, so final things just to push through review process are these like longer format posts for BitDAO and for the conference material. And then the main thing that's going to be really helpful is getting that document filled out with everyone's like with your assumed capacity, basically like hours per week that you assume you'll have free, and like any outstanding things that you're working on right now. And then yeah, I will try to create a list of like issues just that I think look good and GitHub and open to anyone else like filling in that list too. We can do it collaboratively and we'll just get some new stuff assigned. We can really take advantage of the quiet like upcoming weeks to push out a bunch of content that's kind of been like on hold for a while. So actually fun time to pick up new stuff. So let me know any questions along the way. Please fill that out. That would be awesome. And I will sync with all of you then later this week.
Thanks,
and thanks so
Corey.
much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Corey.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Corey.
Corey, thanks.
Have a good one.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Have a
Corey.
good one.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.